Hello, welcome back to the channel. This is our third time here, where I'm live with two others. We've been live with LB before. This time we're live with Connect and Luke from Not In My Lifetime podcast. And that podcast is almost at, how many? 1,000 subscribers. So if you haven't
Yeah, we're
gone
back.
over there yet, go over and subscribe. Because, again, they're almost on 1k. I just heard some news here from Luke, but we'll check that out in a second. Hello, Wim. Hello. How are you doing? Our weekly show. Yeah, it is a weekly show. We're gonna have to figure some things out here, but it is a weekly show. Let's hope it goes well. This is first episode, so I'm gonna try to be a bit more casual with stuff. I'm gonna try to be a bit more general with subjects. We'll go into, I think, more like more or less, should I say, controversial subjects to start it off with, and we'll feel each other out, right? Yeah, big up to Silt for putting the links here of everyone in chat as well. So, just to start it off with, how are you two guys?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. I have to be on a Friday show. It's nice to talk to different people rather than the same people over again. That's good. I know I've been doing a little bit longer than both of us have probably been doing it for, but it's nice to have some, differences in opinion, different people from different, do different shows. It's nice to have a bit of a chat about City, and obviously that's what we're all here for. So it'd be good.
Yeah, connect. Hello, Rosa. Hello, how are you? Is it just me or is Connect echoing a bit? Just a bit. Can you hear that, Luke?
A little bit, but I don't think it's me. I don't think it's me. I'll turn a little bit. It should be
Yeah,
alright.
it's just a little bit. Let's see if we can figure that out. But so for the first subject here, we're going into an Arsenal game. Before that, how are we feeling after the Brugge game? After playing Club Brugge? Let's start again with Luke.
To be honest, the Bruges game was a frustrating watch. Even though we won the game, it was painful that first half, like how we were playing. Now, I think it would win. I thought if we lose to Bruges or draw of them, then that is the lowest point of the season by far. Like final was bad, but I
Yeah,
do watch final and Bruges a little bit anyway. But it's just the first half summed up our season pretty much in a nutshell. Can't put the ball back in the net. Easy to see, can't chance on the counter, 1-0. But then after that, came back, players did very well to sort of dig in and find the result. I don't care who scores the goals, if it's Haaland or anyone else. All we score the goals, that's all I care about. And yeah, we're through. Obviously, we'll have a chat about Madrid and that draw in a bit. But in terms of the Bruges game, I'm happy that we weren't embarrassed and thrown out
yeah.
in the group stage. That would be really embarrassing.
I can relate with that, but I don't really think that we really came back against Bruges. I think Bruges, because obviously I do watch Club Brugge as well, being a fan of both teams. We just stopped running in the second half because an Antwerp game is coming up. Got to go top of the league if Club Brugge wins that. And PSG was winning 3-0. I think Man City was very lucky that Club Brugge decided to stop playing in this game. Because I think it could have been very difficult to get that first goal if Club Brugge did not start laying off a lot. So I think there was a lot of luck there involved as well. What do you think, Connect?
Exactly what we needed. Getting the third goal was really important and really gave us a hand to get the job done. But we're through to the playoffs, which, even though it's a very difficult one we've been handed, we'll cross that bridge when it comes.
Yeah. So today I had some microphone issues with Connect, so I figured that out here in stream. Tell me if that works better. But yeah, I agree with you for the most part. But I'm not very sure that we played very well there. I can hear him now. He's back on screen. Yeah, I did change here how I set up the stream, so hope that works better. I just think we were very weak against Brugge, and if I'm being honest, I think our midfield, I mean, we all know midfield is not good right now. I think Club Brugge schooled our midfield, even if it was defensive, yeah. It just showed Club Brugge was able to walk past those midfielders, especially in the first half, to go on those quick counters. And that is just a big problem, because you can talk about Matthijs Nunes being in that situation and doing poorly. You can talk about all these moments. For me, the question is, why are we conceding chances like those to Club Brugge to begin with? For me, that comes down to midfield. Now I do think, going into Arsenal game, we have Marmoush, Foden could play midfield. That will help a bit with rejuvenating that midfield, but we definitely need to rejuvenate that midfield. And I'm looking at the Arsenal game. Are we lucky to play Arsenal when we are playing them? Luke, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, you're right. I'm not really nervous at all about the Arsenal game because I think with me, I actually kind of know what to expect now with us. I think when you actually watch us now every game, like we know the issues here. Obviously, we'll go on to the Gonzalez move, which obviously we've seen obviously from Romano before we start the show. We'll go into that in a bit, but we definitely need energy in that midfield. I think, as proven by Brugge, Feyenoord, because bear in mind, a lot of people don't know about these teams, but they're very, very good on the counter attack and pace in midfield, which is what we used to have when obviously
we used to have that with De Bruyne and Silva, but now neither of them have that space anymore.
Exactly, and that's the issue. And because look, don't get me wrong, right? Bernardo Silva's been unbelievable for his club, but he's been run ragged, run into the ground for the last 5, 6, 7 years. Eventually, no matter how good you are, your legs are going to get knackered very, very early on, compared to where he would have been, obviously, probably now if he was managed properly. But it isn't me saying he's a bad player. He's still playing how he can, but you can tell he's just tired now. It happens.
Yeah.
And Gundogan's too old. Kevin De Bruyne
I think he can still play, yeah. I think a lot of people exaggerate how bad Silva is. I think he can still play, but off the bench and against weaker teams. Because he's just tired for one part. I think as a bench player, if he's up for that, he can still be good for us, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I mean, same as Kevin De Bruyne as well. I mean, Kevin De Bruyne, look, his legs are going, but he's not slow. Like he's not some like slow like player like Busquets is. He can run,
Mm-hmm.
but we've got to realise that if Kev's going to stay here going forward for another year or two, he has to be a rotational player because we can't just keep pushing him every game to start. Because look, no matter how good you are, we need energy in that midfield. This team needs to start going into the next phase, and this season's shown I think everyone now that we need to start moving not everyone on, but start moving new players into this team and start phasing in a new system. So that's probably where I'm at right now. I mean, Arsenal it'll be a hard game, but I don't think it's as bad as people were saying it's going to be.
Yeah, Connect. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, on Bernardo, I guess I'll move off that. I do get both points. You know, I do think Bernardo does obviously he's not like awful now. I think he's definitely still got like a spot in the team, of course. But like you said, I think it should probably be a bit more rotational. You know, not playing maybe for 90 minutes 3 days a week. You know, I don't think he's got that in him. Like most of our midfielders now, like Ilkay and De Bruyne as well too. Probably, you know.
I think
like
Ilkay
Luke said.
Gundogan. Sorry to chip in there. I think Ilkay Gundogan is simply not good enough anymore. I think he is actually. I don't think it's about like off the bench. I think he's just not good enough anymore. I'm not sure if I'm being harsh in that, but I honestly would think it's time for him to go.
Yeah, I think Ilkay. Like I know, I'm pretty sure his contract runs out at the end of the season. Someone could correct me on that if I'm wrong, but I don't think we should be looking to extend.
Yeah,
I love
absolutely
Ilkay.
not.
I believe you guys love Ilkay too. He's been a great servant to the club. Everything he's done, but
He should have a statue.
yeah, I know he's got a little mural near the training ground. He's just not at that level anymore, and it's he's 34, and if we give him a contract, he's going to be turning 35. It's just not what we should be investing into. We could use any money we pay for his wages to maybe pay for someone else's in the future. But in terms of like the Arsenal game, I think we're probably hitting them at not at the best time, but not at the worst either. Good thing they don't have Saka because of his injury.
Yeah, and I think also we're very lucky that we were able to play Husanov in the Chelsea game. I think out of form in Chelsea right now, because he doesn't have to make his debut against Arsenal, and I do think he'll have to play in this game.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Kusanov, it was a difficult one for him against Chelsea. Felt a bit bad, but yeah, doesn't need to be against Arsenal either, which is good. And I don't even want to imagine if he got done against Arsenal, because I think if we make a mistake like that against Arsenal are better than Chelsea for me, and I think Arsenal probably punishes a bit further if we gave them the same amount of room we gave Chelsea in that first half. So probably a good thing that Kusanov isn't being made to play that game for the first time.
We've just gotten the channel's first ever super chat, by the way. Big up to PDP. Thank you a lot for that. Breaking news: City open talks with Nico Gonzalez. There we go.
Yeah.
Wait, actually, my conspiracy theory is correct. We're gonna get a midfielder. I was actually gonna make that a talking point later here, but I agree with both of you if I'm being honest. But I do have something here as well from This Is City. Gundogan's contract extends automatically if he plays a few more games, and I think he probably will, as This Is City points out. Do you think we'll be able to sell Gundogan very easily? Because I think we might be stuck with this man for a little while.
I'll be honest here, right? I don't think we should put him back. I know it's hindsight, but it baffled me at the time. When players go, you don't bring them back.
Yeah, I said that too.
And don't get me wrong, I wanted to stay originally for maybe one more year. But the problem is, 2023-24 probably his last good season he's had at Barcelona.
Even at the end of that season, like I watched Barcelona a bit, he started off well. At the end, he was very much so weakening already, I think.
And I think the fact is as well, right, the club not going with Bruno G in the summer, and the fact that we kept waiting, it just, you knew what was going to happen. And that's on Giki and Pep. Doesn't matter. I'll say as it is, right? Pep Giki and the board got it wrong. Massively wrong.
I think you can put that solely on Pep, because the board did offer Pep money, and he said, no, my squad is fine. So I think you can really pin that on Pep. And people say that I'm harsh or negative for that, but let's be honest, he has admitted himself. It's his fault.
You're right. You are right.
He has admitted himself. And we've also got some other news here from City Extra. No, sorry, it's MCFC Lads. Let me share my screen here, but this can be quite difficult to figure out, this thing. Nico Gonzalez is fantastic news. Is it confirmed? Because it's only a link, isn't it? Is Nico Gonzalez thing confirmed, by the way?
Romano has said that basically, like, we're looking to sort of get him. Now, obviously, it's not, here we go, we've bought the player. Well, obviously, for
Yeah.
WCW is the long term. Good. I don't want to be going for a player with obligation to buy because it's obvious to me that you don't want him anyway. So you have to you have to make sure that you get the one in. If Gonzalez is a squad player and can do and it's better than what we've got right now, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. But in the long term, he can't
Yeah.
just be that player. It's a hard one. I'm not against it, but it's kind of like we have to make sure that he's not just another Nunez that's going to be in the squad for like 2 years.
Yeah,
And that's
absolutely.
good enough. He has to go. So I'm fine with it. We just need to make sure that it's a good enough player to be better than what we've got right now. That's what I'm at with.
Yeah, and because obviously, we've already seen this as well, by the way. RODRI potentially being registered back in. I'm gonna tell you guys for real, yeah? I've had a knee injury. No matter who you are, you don't come back from that and be the same. That never heals. You just get fit enough to play again. He's never gonna play 60 games in another season. So even if we talk about, like, who can we have that place next to RODRI because RODRI don't want to rest? Spoiler, he got an ACL. He has to rest. It's not of wants to rest, he has to rest for the rest of his career. So we desperately do need someone who is of that level to play these games, in my opinion.
By the way, just a good update quickly before we carry on. CXtra just put out a tweet saying a guy at Sky Sports. So with Sky Sports guys, be very wary of them because they're a hit and miss. Is that Man City aren't prepared to meet Gonzalez's release clause at Porto, but remains to be seen. Basically, it's kind of like we're looking to get him lower than the release clause. The problem is with that is if there's a release clause, it's there for a reason. You can't just keep doing this where you want to get players below the release clause because most of them probably just say no. So you're either wasting your own time here, either get the player for a release clause or go on to someone else. Otherwise, we're sat here for another 2 or 3 days thinking, are we going to get him? Are we not? Like, this is what I like about sitting with a release clause. If you're going to get a player and you want to pay a release clause, do it. Don't mess us about.
Yeah. I think we should have paid the release clause for Bruno Guimaraes. I think Bruno Guimaraes, when that release clause was still active, he would have come. He was like tiptoeing between I would come, I won't come. I think he would have come. But most importantly, we would have had a player there. Oh wait, I just realized. This screen is a bit fucked up, isn't it? Let's do this other way. There you go. We don't need that one. That's better. Yeah, but what I wanted to talk about here, sharing my screen, is RODRI potentially coming back here. Do you guys want to see RODRI back this season? Because I honestly don't.
No. Joe, I like to talk a bit about because I like to talk quite a bit, but I'll do a quick one, RODRI. I don't want him to see anywhere near this season. This season, the Champions League is what it is. Honestly, even if we get through Madrid, I think we'll lose someone else because the Madrid aren't that good. But Leverkusen are better, so let's come on this. So I can't see this team
to play until like September, somewhere there. What do you think, Connect? Because you're being a bit silent right now.
Yeah. I think the fact that he's even being registered for the UCL squad is a bit of a surprise. You know, I was kind of taken aback by that. Don't get me wrong, maybe Pep wants in there just that he can kind of be in the room with the squad or something like that. But for me, if RODRI plays this season, I'll be baffled because, like, similar to what you said earlier with ACLs and how they change players. ACL is one of the most worst injuries you can get in football, and I don't think I've ever seen someone get an ACL in like September. I don't think I've ever seen them play again that season because it's not just about even the injury healing, it's about also bringing yourself back up to match fitness, which is a whole other issue because you're 7, 8, 9 months possibly without
also you're also gonna have then the problem there of like Man City right now. We don't have much of a pre-season. We have like the Club World Cup, and then in between that, what is it? Maybe a month of pre-season.
Yeah.
That's dead. That is dead. I can't lie.
Yeah, I look this season. Right, look, if we win nothing this season, it is what it is. I'm not bothered at all anymore. I'm at the point where look, when we long term, Haaland's here, we've got players supposed to sign new deals. That's all I want to hear. I think this season, look, I think we can win stuff this year. I mean, FA Cup we could definitely win if we obviously get over the line. And I'm not saying it's over because things can happen in football, as we all know. But we're being realistic here. We've seen enough.
We need to think long term. This is the thing. We need to think long term. Past this season. This season is cooked. Get an FA Cup, get top 4, and think about the next 4, 5 seasons. Don't make decisions that are like short term. We might win a Champions League, and then we need to replace RODRI because he's done. We need to think more long term, I think.
Yeah, if we play RODRI just so that we have a chance at winning anything this season, and then he goes and picks up another injury, which puts him out for the couple of months of like the next season, it's just we're thinking, like you said, we should be thinking long term. And if we do something like that, it feels like we're thinking too short term. Yeah. Like you said, this season isn't over because, like Luke's rightly mentioned, the FA Cup is still to play for, and anything can happen in football. But we've got to be realistic. We can't be stupid. And we've got to be, everything's got to be put in place for next season now. Honestly, I just tell RODRI, look, you can watch the games. You know, you can come into the dressing room, but go on holiday, relax, and then properly recover from your injury and from all those crazy games you played last season, and then come back next season stronger, hopefully.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That's definitely how we should be looking at it.
I also just got a question here in chat. Thoughts on all our signings? So let's go through them. And we won't talk about Nicolas Gonzalez yet, because I've never watched him, don't know much about him, and he's not confirmed. But let's start with Husanov. Husanov, what do you guys think about him? Because I really like him.
I think as a long-term signing, he's very good, very raw. A lot of things. I think it's going to be a long-term player. I think as long as we accept that now, him and Vital Hayes, then I'm fine with it. I don't mind them being here. I like that we thought about the future of the team. I think in the summer, some players will leave. I reckon a few will leave in the summer, and I don't care who it is anymore. I think with KDB, that's a whole different debate because that's a weird one that I can't even answer right now. I'm still confused about whether he's going to leave or go yet. I'm sure that I'll be more clear probably towards the end of the season. But Brugge, I think it's off in the summer. You know, I reckon Ake or Stones will be off in the summer. I think
they'll both be gone. Because I look at our signings right now. Have you seen them yet? Husanov, McFarlane, Victor Reis, Ba. Like, obviously, Ba is out on loan, but he's a centre back that can play right back. Watch him a bit. He's really good at Real Valladolid. I like how he plays. Now, I'm not saying he's Man City level, but he can definitely be a backup player for Man City. McFarlane, not sure how it's pronounced. He's coming in from New York. He's a left back. Victor Reis, he's a centre back, can play both sides. Husanov, centre back, has been in the right back position a few times, so we know Pep likes to put his centre backs on the full back areas. I honestly think we're gonna see both Stones and Ake leave. If not this summer, the next summer.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a good possibility. I'm not sure with McFarlane because McFarlane is obviously quite young. I think he's 17. I wouldn't be surprised if we see McFarlane in the academy for a couple of years before, or even potentially going on loan to like Girona or another CFG team.
Yeah, but he's not on loan yet, is he?
Yeah.
I
think he's currently at CFG right now, training today. I think I saw that, but I cannot see Pep saying, you know what? First game is Arsenal. I cannot see us doing that.
He's not going to play against
Arsenal. So like left back, I'm not pushing any old player in there because otherwise we'll get cooked. Just for a long-term player, he's obviously a very, very talented guy. I hope he gets a bit of time to prove himself because Pep at times with young players, sometimes he gives them enough chances, sometimes he keeps on the bench forever for no reason, like Jacob Wright, like that. But it's just kind of like patience with him and players like that. I think it's good to see that we've got players like that in.
I think something important to say about what you just said, when Pep keeps and let's play the goal, like Cole Palmer, Barkley, and a lot of others, yeah? The Lab, for example. I think people need to understand, academy players don't just need to be good to stay in Pep's team. They need to be very smart as a footballer. Because you can be a good footballer at Chelsea, like Cole Palmer, if you're not good enough to play 3 different positions and you're not smart enough to understand Pep's system, which is new every year, you're not going to be that good for Man City. And I think people need to realize that as well. Sometimes we make mistakes when letting players go. But I don't think that most academy players that we let go are anywhere near that level. So, McFarlane, the fact that we even bring him over from New York to Man City instead of just directly to Girona, I'm just gonna say he's someone I'll look out for, but I won't put too much on him.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think for me, I think Mamouche for me is the one player that I'm excited for, because I think of the one game, I've already seen enough from him to say, right, we've got someone that we can use as different to everyone else we've already got. He's quick, he can shoot, he can actually create chances. He gives Kev a little bit of rest rather than having Kev to the lane guard in one time. It gets Phil involved a lot more as well. I'm not saying he's world class or like that. It's one game against Chelsea and he didn't even play the whole game.
So
you've got to give him a little bit of time.
Dacilt is a Bayern München fan, and Dacilt has told me for a long while, so I've known him from before I started my channel, that he wanted to have Marmouche. So I'm very happy with him. The moment we first talked about signing Marmouche, I was very happy about the idea of getting him. So I'm actually happy about Marmouche. I think he's very good. I think he's perfect for Alvarez's job. Although I do think Alvarez is a better player. But I think the role that we wanted Alvarez to do is something that Alvarez couldn't do. And I think Marmouche can do that very well. I don't think he's the long-term De Bruyne replacement. I think he's the next Bernardo Silva. He'll play everywhere, right? I think that's what Marmouche is. Connect, your take on any of that?
I think Marmouche looks. I think he looks really good. You know, he showed a lot of promise against Chelsea. I said the one thing that he could maybe do slightly better, and like we've already said, he played less than 90 minutes. He got subbed off, didn't he? So, you know, it's looking into it just a bit. But so the one thing that he could have maybe done better was just watching himself keeping himself on side a bit more. But other than that, he was making great runs that no one else was picking him up on, and just had really good movement on a whole. He played left wing, he played cam.
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you here. I got a question from Rosa and I told her no, but I'm actually not sure. Can we register players for that playoff? For the playoffs?
Yes,
can we? Okay, yes, sorry, I was wrong. Yes, we can.
So obviously gone.
Interrupting.
So it's four players, I think. It's 4, isn't it? I think because Bob and Rico are on the B list. I think still they're on the B list, so they don't count towards the actual squad. So we can use them still. So I don't think Vitor Hayes will play any Champions League matches this season. I think he'll be more of a cup player and the odd sub. I'm not saying he can't do it. I just think he'll be there next season and the year after that. I think it'll be more experienced players. I think Hussanov will obviously play because he's more experienced in Europe than something like Vitor Hayes will be.
Yeah.
I just think what we're going to probably do is look at sort of making sure Marmouche is in there. If it's Gonzalez or getting him, he'll be in there as well, and probably Cambiasso we get him in as well. Because if we get Cambiasso and Gonzalez in, I'm happy with that window. Because it's not is it perfect? No, but it's definitely better than nothing at all, and give us some options to help us out. Because I don't know, in February it's a massive month. It's a long month for us all.
What I've been talking about for a while on the channel is getting a player in, like what Real Madrid did, a midfielder. They did it with Hosselu, right? They bought Hosselu, and then they sold him for cheap, right? They needed him for 1 season. I think we could do the same with a midfielder. Doesn't have to be good. Sell him for cheap. Do him a favor. Sell him for cheap. but sell him, make sure he can play first team football once we've had our purchases with him. I think Man City could do something like that, get out played somewhere. And if they happen to be better than we expected, then we just like gold, right? So I think that would be something. Nicolas Gonzalez. I mean, I've never watched him, so I'm not going to tell you what I think about him. Cambiasso, I have watched. He is a baller. I think he would be our right back. I don't think he would be our midfielder, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Because he's very good in midfield, but he's everything Pep wants from a right back, I think. So I don't think he would be our midfielder. Maybe for the season he could be, but I doubt it, honestly. HGFC Vlogs, hello, how are you doing? And with that said, what are the thoughts on the Champions League draw, now that we're talking about Champions League? Real Madrid.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, go on, that.
It's not very nice, is it? It's probably the last team we wanted out of everyone, but it's the cards we've been dealt. I guess the one thing that we have to do is I've had a look at players available and players that are booked going into this game, and Rudiger is booked in this game, which means if he gets a yellow in this match, he'll be not available for the Bernabeu. I think we've got to absolutely try getting booked for the Bernabeu because, look, we saw it last season when he was on Haaland. He did really well, to be fair to him, and was a key reason for keeping Haaland locked up. If he's not available for that game, then maybe Haaland gets a bit more freedom. And not just that, maybe he opens runs up for someone like Marmoush. I think Marmoush could be really crucial because suddenly Haaland's not just the one making those direct runs, those really good runs. Now Marmoush is. And with the space that Haaland tends to create for other attackers, I think Marmoush could really benefit from that.
And
But
Haaland
at the
will
same
score
time-
more. Having someone that can pick up goals from him will mean they can't put as many players on Haaland. They can't mark him so tightly. If you look at why he scored so much in the treble season, it's because they could not mark Haaland the way they do now. Because if you did, De Bruyne would score, Gundogan would score, RODRI would score, Foden would score. Now if you mark Haaland that way, no one is really picking up to lose goals. So they can mark Haaland the way they are now. I just got some information here about Nicolas Gonzalez, if that's his name. He's from Barcelona's academy, La Masia. I did not know that. So he's 6'2". American units into real units, please. 85 kilograms. Very physical. Supposed to be good on the ball. I mean,
Brilliant.
good on the ball in Liga Portugal is a big difference from
Highest.
good on the ball in the Premier League.
Anyone, you're tall and can do a job, defend.
Yeah.
Get in this team right now because honestly, I'm not saying it's going to save our season, but I feel confident having someone there than thinking, oh god, I can watch Valverde run for our midfield and no one's there. Pass it to Rodrigo for an easy goal because Madrid are one of the teams that we can actually beat, but it'll be a high scoring 6-7 game. It's going to terrorize you.
And it's going to be very stressful.
If you win, then I'll after our therapy afterwards, but it'll be fine. You know, it'll well worth getting through. Remember, this is a playoff game. This isn't even a final. This is against the last 16.
This is the final. This is final, guys. This is the final. Real Madrid and Man City were the favourites going into this competition.
February, man.
And neither have top 8.
Awful.
Neither of us have top 8, but we were favourites going into this. So yeah, I think we would have all preferred Bayern München, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I don't think there's much to argue there.
Look, I think we'll be alright. Look, for me, right. Obviously, Arsenal's first, probably getting anyone near Madrid, obviously, but
Yeah.
I'm not really worried about any game, really. The thing is, for me, is that we've got the players to beat everyone this month. Tottenham, Liverpool, we can beat everyone this month. The issues we've got is, do we have to keep conceding goals first to come back in every time? Because that's a bad thing to do. As much as it's good winning the games, I don't want to keep seeing us concede one goal and thinking, oh, for God's sake, we've got to come back and get 2 more goals.
Yeah.
We need to start winning games from the start again. Again,
Yeah, absolutely.
thankfully we're out of the bad run now, which is good. Obviously lost PSG, but that's a game out of quite a few we've actually won. We've got to just start winning games from the get-go. Control the game, manage the game, stop mucking about,
And you've got
missing
to
chances.
stop conceding a goal every game. Like, it's all well and fine winning, like, 3-1, 3-4, 2 every game, right? But we need to keep clean sheets. We need to have 3-0s in there to give some confidence to our defense. Because we can't be going into games thinking we have to score. Because Real Madrid at the Bernabeu, if we are thinking we can't keep a clean sheet, we have to score to draw at least. I mean, that is grim. That is grim. But, I mean, we would have all preferred Bayern München. Real Madrid is not the greatest at the moment either. But I do promise you, they will always turn up against us. So now the question is, can we turn up against them?
I mean, it's a cup game, and the good thing is with cup competitions as opposed to league games is one-off. It's one-off games are what knockout stages are built on, and if we can produce, well, we need 2 one-off performances against Madrid to really go through. But for me, we should be aiming to win by maybe 2 goals at the Etihad. Maybe if we can get that'd be brilliant.
At least 2 goals.
Yeah, we're going to need at least 2 or 3 going to the Bernabeu. And then at the Bernabeu, keep their score low. And we've got to defend like our lives are on the line, to be honest, because they essentially will be.
That's the issue.
Man City at the Bernabeu needs to do what we did against Bayern München. Bayern München had the ball all game in the treble season, but they were not getting near our goal. We don't have the quality defenders to do that this season, but that type of stuff are what I'm hoping for. We go on.
The thing is,
interrupting.
Going to the Bernabeu, if we have to go to extra time, that's bad news because Madrid in extra time are clutch. I'm not saying we're not clutch, but if we have one game where the ball won't go in the back of the net, keep hitting the crossbar, hitting the post, going wide, the players are being stupid on the ball. Look, Madrid aren't good either, by the way. I've watched Madrid enough times to know that they've got good players, but as a team, no, not good at all.
They're second in La Liga, though.
We can beat them if we're better as a team. It's just that we've got to work on these mistakes now. So Arsenal on Sunday, we've got to start seeing improvement. We can't start doing it before the game. Look, Orient is a whole different game. That's not even a game to be mentioned in this case. Arsenal away is the starter, is the appetizer before that game. So we've got to get this right now. Otherwise, Madrid will be a nightmare.
Absolutely, I agree. What were you going to say? Connect?
I mean, yeah, the mistakes. It feels like almost every game we're making big mistakes.
You know what it is, really?
Defense.
You know what it is? I don't think our defense is as bad as people think. I just think there's so much pressure on our defense because of midfield. Obviously, right back is tragic.
Yeah.
Right back is tragic, but if you keep forcing defense to defend, there's going to be a breaking point, right? Like in chess, there's a principle that every grandmaster follows, basically. Every player has a breaking point. If you just make enough moves, they will make a mistake at some point. If you keep forcing defenders to defend, there is a breaking point. And that will mean someone is going to score if this midfield remains, well, this tragic, really. So I don't think I think Matheus Nunes is bad. But for the rest, I think our defense is good, honestly.
I'm sure secondly, on Dad's Stilt, Bayern would have panned you. No, they wouldn't. I've watched Bayern enough. Bayern are not that good at all. Bayern absolutely banned you. You're just bad as Real Madrid are. I'm sorry, right? Bayern, Madrid, and City can't talk to anyone in top 8. We can't. Not even Arsenal, because we have not gone to top 8. We and PSG as well. We're all idiots. 4 idiots that sat there that bottled it in top 8. So no one the same as each other.
We're all shit,
so we're all shit.
We're winning the league at least, says Das Silt.
Leverkusen will win the league.
There you go. Hold that. You
By
lot
the way,
all
I
these
like
games.
Bayern. I like Bayern. By the way, I'm not saying I don't like them. I'm just saying that I think Bayern are not as good as I think they are. However,
I
it'll
think
be
Bayern is not as good as Real Madrid, and in Europe
no.
especially. I think Europe, you need experience as a manager. And I know people are going to say like Pep Guardiola won Champions League in his debut season. Well, how many Peps are there, right? For Europe, I do think you need experience. Vincent Company does not have the experience for Europe. Like blatantly, he doesn't have it. So in Europe, I think they're worse than they are in the Bundesliga, honestly. So, talking about the Champions League, by the way, a bit off topic. What are the thoughts on the new format here with the Champions League?
For me, I've been quite firm on this. I don't dislike this new one. I think it's an interesting change. I ask myself whether it was a necessary change. I do like group stages, and if I had to pick one or the other, I think I do lean towards group stages, because some people say that the group stages are more boring because it's more obvious who's going to go through, which is completely fair. It is a bit more obvious who's going to go through, but at the same time, I feel like because of the group stages not being super duper entertaining, there tends to be like one or two groups that are really good.
Yes.
But I feel like the poor group stages almost empower the knockout stages, where all the big teams finally start clashing. But you look at the league table, the league phase, Real Madrid have already played Liverpool. We've played PSG. Some big games already happening. And in a couple years, I feel like the magic of those big games in the Champions League won't feel as much,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
You know what I think, yeah? Sorry to interrupt here. I think that the problem is this entire system will oversaturate those big games. Everything that is good because it's a modesty. And you like, my opinion, yeah? Best movie series ever made, Lord of the Rings. Go watch all 3 of those movies every day for a whole week. Tell me if you still enjoy the movie. You're not gonna. And that is my problem with these constant big games here and the Champions League.
Madrid, yeah. I'm bored of it now.
Yeah,
It was Barcelona, all right. I love Barcelona. That'd be a fun game because, it'd be awful because you're Rafinha against that current defence.
what is the last time we have played Barcelona?
16, 17.
2014? Yeah.
Oh yeah. 16,
17, yeah, where we got battered by Messi in the first game, and then we absolutely battered them at our place. So
that was great.
Gundogan, De Bruyne. Who else scored? Was it Sterling?
Did Duran get a brace?
He did, yeah. 2 goals. That was it. But I want to play him now. Imagine if we had players in now we do now, right, playing against Barcelona right now. That'd be a fun game to watch.
Yeah, I think AC Milan. Well, we can't get AC Milan, can we? Or they top 8?
Well, Joe also got Atalanta. That was going to watch.
Atalanta, but I don't want to see the Ketelaar play against Man City because, let's be honest, he's a player that's very hyped up. He's a Bruges boy, but he's not as good as people think he is.
Yeah. He's not a bad player, but everyone thinks
he's not a good player. Let me just put it out there. He lacks motivation to play. He is good when he wants to be, but players like that, I don't rate. I just don't rate that. So, yeah.
I will say quickly, Doku, we need Doku back fit, though. His games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jeremy Doku, when he's on it, is brilliant. But we got to keep him fit. Because we can't keep doing this where he's playing well, injured for 2 or 3 weeks. We need him and Savino, Mamouche, and Bob all there. We need options. Options of bench as well.
Here's my thing, yeah. Doku is mad shit, says Dacilt. I disagree. I don't think he's a great player. But I think he just provides something different. Final output, he just provides something. And people don't like players who are pace and power. But let's be honest, they have a purpose. If you have a team of 11 pace and power players, that team will not function. But one robotic player next to 10 actually technically gifted players, and then you have an engine, right, in a team. And I think people underrate the value of that. Doku is that engine for us going forwards. And in games, breaking down deep blocks, we can definitely use that, I think.
Yeah.
Should go for the words or and Bastoni. I don't want Bastoni. He's 35 years old, isn't he? Isn't he like very old already? Bastoni. Let me look up. Oh, he's 25. Oh my days. Yeah, he's 25. I thought this guy was like in his 30s. Never mind. Yeah, maybe we should go for the Bastoni. He's very good. Words. Listen. If you don't know, I'm half German, half Belgian. Watching Words is like for Germany. It's like watching De Bruyne back in today for the Belgium. I get the same feeling. This guy is literally not the same player, but he's very similar. You want a De Bruyne replacement? He exists in Germany right now.
Not Musiala. Musiala's a different kind of player.
Musiala is more like Bernardo Silva.
Yeah, which is fine, but I think Wirtz and Foden's better than Musiala.
We already have Oscar Bob for that position. We already have wingers. Like, we have 4 wingers right now, don't we? 5?
Yeah. Something like that, yeah.
Yeah,
so
we don't need...
You've got players who play everywhere, so we don't need. I don't need loads of players. I think for me, the attack's fine for me.
Yeah.
Now, it's more the midfield I'm worried about and the defence.
Yeah, and I think I do want to have Words in there for the attacking midfield. But like, other than Words, who is the only other attacking player I would get, I don't really think we need to worry about attack too much. So I need a defensive midfielder right now. Like, I think that's where we're all at with Man City. But by the way, what do you guys think about Duran? Because that's very off topic. But what do you guys think about Duran going to Saudi?
I'm annoyed.
It's a shame for the Premier League because, you know, watching him, I'm a City fan. He plays for Villa. But watching him, you know, I watched him against Bayern Munich. That goal he scores is just wonderful to watch. And it really felt like we had like a really nice natural talent coming from the Premier League. You know, and I like seeing talents burst onto the scene, even if they're not for us, because it just brings some difference to the league. I can't believe when I saw the rumours that he's going to Saudi, and not just rumours now. I'm pretty sure he's held the shirt.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of when Oscar left. Oscar left Chelsea. Yeah, it reminds me of that, isn't it? I think Oscar was better than him, obviously, but like it's the same kind of thing, right? A player, incredible talent, grows up poor. He's offered a lot of money. I mean, why would you not take that money if you're Duran? Like, you grew up poor. That is generational wealth right there.
Yeah, to be fair.
It's annoying,
I think he's young enough to come back to the, not maybe Premier League, but to a decent league once he's done collecting dough in Saudi. But I suppose we'll have to see for that, won't we? Anyhow, I think we've talked about quite a bit here. I just want to ask one last question to both of you. And I'm going to start with Luke here. You are Man City manager. You're Pep. How do you play right now against Arsenal?
Right, okay. So, I think for me, right, let's say everyone's, well, apart from RODRI, because he's not fit. Bob's back in the team, so everyone's fit now. Diaz, is Diaz fit for Sunday or is he not?
Probably not.
No.
No Doku, no Diaz,
even if he's fit.
No RODRI, okay. I'll say Bob's fit because Bob's technically back training now, so I'll go Bob on the bench. I'd go, obviously, Eddie in goal because I think Edison's playing well right now. No point dropping him. He's playing really well. Play him again. I'd go Hussanov right back, Akanji Stones, and left back I would go for, obviously, Gvardiol. That's the best back four. I'd go for a pivot of Kovacic and Bernardo Silva in the midfield. Not Gundogan. No. Kovacic and Bernardo Silva. I then play Foden attacking midfielder, Marmoush on the left, Savinho on the right, up front Haaland.
Yeah.
That's what I'd go.
I also would go with the same. What do you think, Connect?
Yeah, I think that's basically spot on. You know, for right back, I think is the big question for this game because well, we don't have one, and unless Cambiasso suddenly joins the club,
Sunday.
yeah,
No, it's
I
not.
think that's probably going to be a summer move. To be honest, I don't think he'll leave Juventus in January, but I think it's either got to be Kusanov or you stick with Nunes, and I think Nunes versus Gabriel Martinelli stinks, to be honest. If he's available,
To be fair,
I'm not too sure
Martinelli
on
is
the
also
Arsenal
shit.
injuries.
I'm more
True,
scared
but
of
he's
Concise.
pacey.
Not
He's
anymore.
pacey, and that's what worries me. I think, but Kusanov, he is rapid, and he can match the pace of attackers. So I definitely go Kusanov at right back. I basically agree with what you guys have gone for, really.
Yeah.
What about a Kanji right back, Husanov, Guardiol, centre backs, and this is not my opinion, by the way, this is just a shout. So Guardiol, Husanov, centre backs, and then left back having Rico Lewis. And here is my idea, right? Invert Rico Lewis from left back into midfield. If you have on the left Salvino, he's shown that he's got the work rate to get back, in my opinion. So you can put him together with, I think, Lewis, and work around a bit. Now, it's not what I'm saying, I'm playing devil's advocate here, but do you think that would work against Arsenal without Saka?
We should do, I think, but I think for me, I mean, look, if it isn't Nunes at right back, then fair enough. But I just don't really want to see it long term because I don't think he's a right back. Pep's trying to make it work; it's just not working. He hasn't got the defensive ability to do it. I'd rather go Rico right back than Nunes. I know people will say he can't do it, but Rico actually has played there before and could do a decent job there. Again, I'd rather have a right back like Cambiasso in there over Rico. Just saying. But if I had to go for what I have
Nunez
right now,
left back? Nah. I just don't want Nunez in that back four. I just don't want Nunez to play, basically. Maybe he can play midfield, but even then, I don't really want him in midfield. I don't think Nunez has a place in this team. He's not good enough. He only plays out of necessity, not because he's actually good.
Yeah, I think I sympathise with Nunes a bit because obviously he's a midfielder most of the time, and this season he's played a bit in midfield, he's played off the left a little bit, and more as of late he's played on right back. So I sympathise with him a bit. He's been kind of messed around with in terms of his position, but
yeah, I
at
think
the
he
end
played
of the day,
decent.
I agree.
Yeah, I think he played decent when he was on the left wing, left midfielder, kind of left wing. But even then, I don't think he was good enough. People were gassing up goals against random teams, let's be honest. He never really played very well. Even his best games, I think, are worse than some of Doku's worst. But he played against weak teams, terrible Spurs team, and I just don't rate him at all. Like, I don't think he provides us anything. And I don't know if that's very harsh or not. I just don't think we should have ever bought him.
I mean, the reason of buying him was pure desperation because it was when KDB got injured and we wanted a midfielder, and Nunes was just like a last minute grab from City. And I prefer it if we didn't operate that way. I'd much prefer it if we tried to take our time a bit more, but we kind of just thrashed at it. And look, maybe it works out in the future if we do something like that again. But it didn't work out with Nunes. And for 60 million, which is what I think we bought him for, it's not been the greatest investment.
Yeah, I think we can do better than Nunes. I think Nunes will go in the summer. Which is going to be another place to replace. But yeah, I think Nunez is going in the summer. I think we've had a decent run of games now starting to come back up. I think Man City is starting to get back in shape. I'm not going to say we've turned a corner until we beat Arsenal or draw them, beat or draw Liverpool, beat or draw Newcastle, and get at least one win in all of those fixtures. We need to get a win somewhere, I think. We need to improve our rate, and we need to just get consistency, I think, as well. I don't think we can
Yeah.
say we've turned accordingly yet, but I do think top 4 is reachable. I think it's very doable. And I do think, by the way, do you guys think Nottingham Forest will fall off? Like a drop down?
I think there's a solid chance that they fall off. Not drastically. I think they get European football, but I feel like it
Do you think
might
they'll
start
get
catching
top
up
4?
with them.
Do you think
Top
they'll get
4?
top 4?
Hard on that.
Yeah. It's so tough to just look ahead.
I don't think they'll get top 4, if I'm being honest.
I think they'll get top 6. I think, but then again, it depends on. I think the Bournemouth it is Forest, but I thought Forest about Forest. I think Bournemouth showed to me that
Yes.
Forest have not got the up here to get it done, because not being honourable to them, they haven't got the experience of doing it this point in season, and they've done very well, but I just don't think it's going to happen to them.
What I have said, ever since I started this channel, one of the things I've always repeated is a good starting 11 gets you half a season, but a good squad wins you a title, right? So for Forest, they have a good starting 11, don't get me wrong, but they don't have a good squad, I think, all round. So I don't think they will be winning, or they will be getting top 4 here this season, or top 5 even. I'm not saying they'll drop down too significantly. I do think they'll get top 6, but I think Chelsea, Newcastle, and Man City will overtake them. Today I'm doing a watch along to Serie A, by the way. I forgot the teams, but go check that out later if you're into Serie A, I suppose. And with that, we've been live for about an hour. I think it's been a decent first episode here to this podcast. So I think we should round up there. Any closing statements?
I'll let you go first, Luke, if you got any.
Yeah. Sunday, massive game. Look, to get the league, I mean, that's only happens if we somehow Liverpool lose on Saturday and we win. It back on, because we've still got a long way to go to get ourselves back to where we need to be. Because remember, this month's massive. If we go this month unbeaten and we're in a title race, then it's on.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, Liverpool have to lose tomorrow, and we have to beat Arsenal. We have a confidence thinking maybe we can turn it around. So for me on Sunday, it all depends on Saturday for me, because Saturday if Liverpool lose, Sunday will be huge.
Yeah,
For both teams.
on my channel we've been joking as well that Man City will win the league title on 74 points, because obviously lowest points tally ever was Man United winning on 75 points. So that's been a recurring joke here. I don't think there's a league title. I'm just worried about top 4 and FA Cup. And we're getting lucky so far in FA Cup, which I like. We could choose the luck, I suppose. Connect.
Like Luke said, it's a big game on Saturday, and we got to take it game at a time. After Arsenal, it's FA Cup, and like you said, been getting the maybe more favourable draws in the FA Cup. We've got Salford, and now we've got Leyton Orient, which I feel is a good thing. It gives youngsters an opportunity to get the minutes they desire, like Nico Riley and McAtee and whatnot. Gives them an opportunity, but it gives us a bit more time to try and get us back up to the level we need to be. And so if it can hopefully help us in any way, and it can also give rest for players like De Bruyne, because I'd be very surprised if De Bruyne plays that game.
I don't think
it gives rest for some of those players that need them.
I don't think De Bruyne will be starting much games now that what is his name? Husanov is here. I think now Husanov is here, De Bruyne will get a lot more off the bench games, and Husanov play in attacking midfield.
I think you mean Marmoush.
Sorry, Marmoush. Yes, Marmoush.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Marmoush is definitely going to take a bit more of a bit more of a first 11 role over De Bruyne. Not to say De Bruyne won't start games full stop, but yeah, I think Marmoush is definitely going to be in the starting 11 a lot now. We've spent a lot of money on him, so you'd hope so.
Yeah, I agree. I'm currently looking here if anyone is live because I'm trying to redirect to watch to stream here, and I can't find anyone who's. Oh, LB is live, I suppose. Is no one smaller live?
No,
Nobody is live except LB.
No, not really. No, it's more the big one so far.
Yeah. I mean, I could redirect to LB here, but I'm trying to find someone else who's live.
No,
Otherwise, I'll just redirect to LB.
I mean, everyone else that I know smaller is doing stream later on tonight about Nicolas
Yes,
Gonzalez.
Steve is live, but I don't think he has redirects on. Strasbourg Steve, let's see. Strasbourg, can I redirect to him? I cannot. So yeah, I'll go to redirect this stream to LB. Go to LB stream, pick him up, say, I don't know, Alfred? Who do we rate from? Blue Friday rates, I suppose. So yeah, thank you too for coming on here. It's first of a few. Normally we're, by the way, planning to do this an hour later, but we decided for this one to do it an hour early because I don't remember who it was had to do something, so yeah. We're done here for now. Thank you guys for coming on, and go to XLB's chat and tell him Blue Friday rates. Blue Friday rates. We'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.
See ya.
Yeah.